is that 95% of this audience, and look, this is where I start getting unpopular. I did a lot of homework before I came to this talk because I knew there'd be a lot of people. I was excited about it. So I've been doing some homework over the last 3 or 4 months, actually, following the hashtags, following your social media presence. And the truth is, punchline is I think 95% of the people here are just not working hard enough. Punchline is I think 95% of the people here are just not working hard enough. I think a lot of people like to cry about stuff. I think a lot of people like to cry about stuff. I think a lot of people like to cry about stuff. So being an entrepreneur is cool. I take selfies, right? Somewhere around 5th grade, I realized I did not give a crap about Saturn. The only thing we all want and fight for is somebody's attention. We all have to get your attention. Before you tell me how great your system is gonna work, or how awesome and delicious your product is, or how great your abs are, before you do any of that, you need my attention. And what I do for a living is I day trade attention. I follow attention. And the funny thing about that game is, you can't be romantic about where you want the attention to be. You just have to reverse engineer where it actually is. From the first episode of Why Library TV, I separated the content from the business. In fact, I had so many hardcore fans. One kid at MIT who loves math and data mapped my rating on every wine on that show. And on that show, over 1,000 episodes that I did over 5.5 years, I panned 71% of the wines that were on that show. Wines that I was selling in my store, I was telling you not to buy because I realized it was better off for me to become America's wine guy than it was for me to sell you an extra case of Pinot Noir. Social media, it doesn't exist. It's a slang term. Social media is the slang term for the current state of the internet. If you're sitting in this crowd and still not devoted to these platforms, you will lose. Because the only thing that people care about in marketing and sales that are smart and successful is attention. And if you don't realize that everybody's attention is now in their phone, you are not paying attention to society. Over 50% of everybody's time in the world on a phone is spent on a social network. And for you to sit in this audience and disrespect Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, all these platforms is an insane thing. Everything we know, everything we play in, didn't exist 10 years ago. How many people here are retiring within the next 10 years? And I don't mean you're gonna crush it and go live on an island. I mean, you're old and you're finished. This is the biggest communication shift in our society since the printing press. You have 50-year-old men sitting in this audience right now who texted a poop emoji last night. What happens, you have to understand, is that when these platforms are formed, we age down our society. How many people in this room said they would never be on Snapchat and now are, don't lie, lying is the devil? Look at the hands. I want people to, actually, let's stand up. Let's do this right now. Stand up. Right now. Stand up. Don't get lazy on me. You're supposed to be athletic. Stand up. Stand up. Right now, if you, not generally, if you said you would never be on Snapchat and you now are, stand up. If you didn't do that, sit back down. I need you to look around this room. I need you to look around this room before everybody sits down, because this is basically my entire keynote in visual form. I am going to buy the New York Jets on one thesis. I'm going to invest time and money in the places that you say that you're not going to be, that I know you're going to be in. You can sit down. There is so much opportunity going on. And what happens is, did I cry when my email newsletter went from 91% to 30% over a decade? No, I did not. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It matters how many followers you have that care. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It matters how many followers you have that care. You're not paying the bills with 100,000 Instagram followers that you bought on eBay, jerk. On the flight here this morning, I looked at the last 50 tweets and profiles of people in the audience right now. On their Instagram accounts, they put out content. 15 people comment, 11 people comment, 29 people comment, 67 people comment. And of the 50 people I audited to get fresh data for this talk, not one. Goose egg, 00, Robert Parrish, not one of the 50 people in this audience engaged to one of the people that left a comment. Not one follow-up. 0. Because we've become, in a social media world, pushers. We talk, but we don't listen. And that is where all the action is. If you take one different tact from this talk, and I'm doing this selfishly because I want you to email me in a year because you're going to make more money. And I want you to say, thanks. If you do one tactical thing, we're talking theory, I'm giving you tactical. Do me a favor, instead of going on a 20-week ab program, or you want to get your butt up and squat or whatever, instead of that program, do my program. Reply to every single person that leaves a comment on any social media that you put out for 1 year and watch the money grow. Do that plan. Problem is, that takes work. Problem is, to win, you've got to stop watching entire seasons of House of Cards. That is the variable. But the attention is there. Crying about Facebook? Let me tell you about 50 people that jumped on Snapchat in January and are making 10 times the money in whatever game they're playing because they're arbitraging Snapchat while Facebook's going through. Crying about Facebook? Be a business and not be an income eater. Instead of buying a nice thing with the money you make from this, why don't you take that money and deploy it against Facebook ads, because the word wine was 5 cents a click when I started, and now it's $9. The number one guaranteed way for every single person in this room to make more money is Facebook ads. The problem is, a lot of people in here are headline readers and not practitioners. You have opinions of Facebook ads, but you never really run a campaign at scale. You got me, you were so great energy, you're super handsome, and I'm super pumped, and I really want to do this, and so what do I do? So I'm going to tell you what to do off of anything you hear from me in headline, and you want to go get the details. Like, again, and I'm going to pound it into your face until you succumb, Facebook ads will make you a lot more money if you deploy the ads and if you learn it, which means, 27 to 30-year-old males that live in, Omaha, Nebraska, that are into fitness. There's a lot of Omaha. There's a site you should go to after you hear things from me if you want to get more deeper information on it. I'll let you get your pens. It's G-O-O-G-L-E. Google. You know how many of you piss me off so much when you come up to me and say, Gary, but I don't know how to run Instagram ads. Figure it out, Peter. Like, what's the matter with you guys? If your product sucks, the greatest marketing in the world will not fix it, right? You guys, in this model, are not in charge of that, so we need to move to the next thing. Let's assume that's in place. Sure seems that way, right? Let's go to the next place. Attention. You have to know where it is, and preferably, you need to know where it's underpriced.